The truly great fighters in boxing are those who can dominate the action and still enjoy themselves in the ring, especially when they know they're ahead. That's when they start to flow, to dance, to showboat. And when Naoya Inoue reaches that point, you better worry. There's nothing more dangerous than a world-class fighter hitting their rhythm and making you look foolish. For Inoue, showmanship is second nature. It's part of what makes him so captivating. He's not just a master technician with absurd knockout power. He's a showman, a performer, and a born finisher. That flair, combined with an incredible skill set, is a big reason why he's become one of the most beloved fighters in the sport today. Inoue's rise through the ranks was meteoric. KO after KO, it wasn't long before he was heralded as one of boxing's finest prospects. What made him special? Everything. Speed, power, precision, and a level of technical fight IQ rarely seen, even among champions. What stood out even more was how his power didn't fade as he moved through weight classes. If anything, his most stunning performances came as he began to fight bigger men. Against Paul Butler, Inoue wasn't just fighting to win, he was putting on a performance. A statement. A reminder that boxing, at its highest level, is more than a sport. It's art. And when Butler went down, his own recollection spoke volumes. I remember the ref counting. I thought he was on 3, but then he shouts 8, 9. I thought, that bastard. I just couldn't get up. I was probably still down for another 10, 15 seconds. Getting my breath. Before that, Inoue tore through several elite opponents. Jamie McDonnell was thought by some to be a potential stumbling block. They were wrong. Inoue overwhelmed him from the start. Then came Juan Carlos Payano. It was a fight many thought might challenge Inoue's composure. Instead, he walked through him. A clear message to the division. No one was safe. The grudge match against Emanuel Rodriguez was meant to be a proving ground. What it became was a masterclass. Inoue displayed blistering speed, crushing power, and offensive combinations that Rodriguez had no answer for. With each passing fight, Inoue wasn't just winning, he was redefining dominance. Fans and analysts alike began to realize they weren't watching an ordinary fighter. They were watching a generational talent, someone chasing greatness, legacy, and eventually, GOAT status. But greatness isn't handed out. You earn it by beating legends. And when Inoue stepped into the ring with Nonito Donaire, that's exactly what he aimed to do. Donaire, a future Hall of Famer, wasn't just experienced, he was still dangerous. Their fight would become the toughest of Inoue's career. It pushed him to his physical and mental limits. But he adapted, gritted it out, and emerged victorious. That win cemented his status not just as a phenom, but as a true warrior. Following that war, Jason Maloney posed little resistance. Inoue was evolving again, faster, sharper, and meaner. Then came the rematch with Donaire. If the first fight was a war, the second was a statement. Inoue destroyed Donaire, proving that he had reached a new level. Which brings us back to Paul Butler. What could he do against such overwhelming talent? To his credit, Butler was tough. He had grit, a solid chin, and was ready for a long fight. But from the opening bell, it was clear. Inoue was levels above in round 1. Inoue was already reading Butler's rhythm. His laser-like jab, precise footwork, and elite timing began to surface early. Butler brought passionate fans into the arena, but those who truly understood boxing knew what was about to unfold. Inoue didn't rush. He calculated. Round by round, he turned up the heat to be round 2. It was obvious Butler needed to do something, anything, to earn Inoue's respect. But he couldn't land. And worse, he couldn't get out of the way. Inoue, known for his quick reads, was settling into his groove. Round 3 was more of the same. Inoue's fight IQ, often overshadowed by his power, was on full display. He wasn't just throwing bombs, he was dissecting Butler. The contrast was clear, a good fighter trying to survive against a once-in-a-generation talent. By round 4, Butler's corner had their work cut out. Inoue wasn't even throwing his hardest shots yet, but it was still a shutout. This was the cruel reality of elite boxing, where levels separate champions from legends, and round 5, Butler's coach could be heard pleading, telling him Inoue was slowing down. It was desperation. The truth. Inoue was just getting started. By round 6, the mask came off. Inoue was done being patient. He started letting his hands go with more aggression, more intention. The showman emerged, but the killer instinct never left. In round 7, Inoue looked unstoppable. Butler's output remained low, and any attempt at offense was met with immediate, punishing counters. Butler wasn't just getting beat, he was getting dissected. Round 8 saw Inoue hit a flow state rarely seen in combat sports. He even began taunting Butler, daring him to engage, playing with him like a cat with a mouse. Mental warfare was now part of the game. In round 9, it was just more of the same. Total dominance. The crowd could sense it. Something big was coming. By round 10, the fight had become a showcase of Inoue's complete mastery. Butler was still standing, but barely. Any time he landed something, Inoue made a point to punish him. Finally, round 11. Butler was on his feet, but clearly broken down. Inoue's constant pressure, precision, and variety had worn him out. The referee wisely stopped the fight. There was no need for a scorecard. Inoue had mauled him from start to finish. Butler would return to win 2 more fights before retiring. The Inoue fight had shown him his ceiling. That's the power of fighting the monster. It forces a brutal reckoning. Fast forward to 2024. 19 months later, a new threat emerged. TJ, the Power, Doheny. A man who had never been stopped, with a 77% knockout rate. His left hook was vicious, dangerous enough to put anyone to sleep, even Inoue. After a brutal battle against Luis Nery, Inoue now prepared for a second defense of his unified super bantamweight titles against arguably the most dangerous puncher he'd ever faced. Having conquered bantamweight and unified all belts, Inoue moved up to super bantamweight and crushed Stephen Fulton, the division's king. Then came a brutal unification against Marlon Tapales. Less than 6 months later, he survived a war with Nery. And now, he was set to face Doheny in September 2024. Doheny had quietly earned his shot, winning 3 fights in Japan, including a stunning KO of Kazuki Nakajima. Many considered him a dark horse, underrated, but deadly. The setting was Tokyo's Ariake Arena. Inoue entered the ring with a villainous swagger, his demeanor cold, focused, and terrifying. Doheny, undefeated in Japan, was confident too. But as soon as the bell rang, things changed. Doheny came out cocky, hands down. A bold move. But he soon became a human punching bag. Inoue skipped the jab and launched powerful right hands from the start. Though Doheny possessed game-changing power, it was Inoue who upped the tempo, electrifying the Tokyo crowd. The fight became a high-level chess match, but it was Inoue who dictated every exchange, began studying Doheny's counters, then countering those. Doheny, despite his resilience, was absorbing too much damage. Inoue's right hand started snapping his head back. The ring began to shrink for the Irishman. Still, Doheny rallied briefly. His left hook flashed danger. But unknown to him, the end was coming. Inoue turned up the torque, shifting to punishing body shots. Doheny began to complain to the referee, looking for relief. But there would be none. Inoue missed a monster right hand, but the follow-up shots were even worse. By round 7, it was over. A brutal combination to the body forced Doheny to his knees. He clutched his back, unable to stand. The fight was stopped. Inoue had done it again. He broke Doheny, mentally and physically. The Irish fighter struggled to walk back to his corner, his body wrecked by the monster's precision. Mike Tyson once said after a fight, "I broke my back, spinal." Doheny might have related. Oh, now the question becomes, how far can Naoya Inoue go? He's unified titles across multiple divisions. He's dismantled champions. He's proven he can brawl, box, adapt, and dominate. He's not just one of the best in the world, he may be one of the best ever. And with every passing fight, he's building a resume that demands inclusion in the GOAT conversation.